Thank you. When we think of philosophy, we think of a subject that is all about abstract ideas that the philosophers discuss and debate, far removed from the world in which we live. But I've never viewed philosophy this way. From the time I was young, I was interested in politics, in campaigns and elections, in political arguments and debates. I found it fascinating. When I graduated from college, how many of you here are still in college, by the way? How many are college students? Quite a few. Wow. Well, when I graduated from college, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. I thought maybe I would become a political journalist, maybe become a politician and run for office. And the idea of being a professor, that was not my first idea. And then I had a chance to read and study some more and to travel, and I became fascinated by what the philosophers of the past had to say about justice and political community and the common good. And before I knew it, I was captured by the project of philosophy, and I wound up a teacher of philosophy. But I always wanted to retain some connection between the kind of philosophy that I did and the world in which we live. Ticket scalping for a May Day concert. Those who think it's fair, raise the white part of your program. Those who think it's unfair, raise the orange. Well, another division of opinion. But I think maybe a slight majority to those who say it's fair. Now, let's take what may be a slightly harder question. Ticket scalping of train tickets during the Chinese New Year. People line up. There's a great demand for the train tickets. And some people buy tickets and sell them at a high price to people who didn't get one. Is this fair? White, raise your white, those who think scalping train tickets on the Chinese New Year is fair. Orange if you think it's unfair. See if there's a difference. Now there seems to be a shift in opinion. Now I see more orange than I did before. Now, I would like to hear from someone who said it was fair to scalp tickets for the May Day concert, but who said it was unfair to scalp train tickets at the Chinese New Year. Someone who raised white for the first question and orange for the second. Who can explain the moral difference between the two? Yes.
我觉得这个问题的关键在于这两个物品它的。
I think it's no accident that in almost every society today there is a deep frustration with politics and with political parties. There's a frustration with what in many countries is a kind of intense, entrenched partisanship and a kind of public discourse that is hollowed out, empty of big questions, of ethical questions, of questions about justice and the meaning of goods and the character of a good society. And yet I think there's a great hunger for a better kind of public discourse. A public discourse that engages directly with big moral questions, including questions of justice. That kind of public discourse is not easy to achieve because it requires that we overcome our hesitation to reason together in public about these controversial moral questions. But I think it's possible. I think it's possible in part because we've been doing it this evening. You could see by the white cards and the orange cards the disagreements in this hall on each of these questions. And you could hear in the arguments across this arena the competing views about the role of markets, about what counts as human needs, about what are necessities and what are luxuries, about how to value goods, from education to the environment, to military service, to criminal justice, to civic life. And yet, if you think about the discussions we had, they not only illustrate the necessary connection between economics and ethics, they also illustrate that it is possible to enter into debates and discussions, public discussions, about hard ethical questions in a spirit of mutual respect and civility, listening to one another, sometimes learning from one another, even where we may disagree. I think what we saw tonight, and it's thanks to you, what we saw tonight was a glimpse of what reasoned public discourse on big questions might be. Thank you all very much. Thank you. 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 Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
大家左转。